Everybody. Hope you all had a nice Thanksgiving yesterday. There's Bobby getting in there. Hey, what's up, Bobby?
Hey, what's up, man? How was your Thanksgiving?
Good. How about yours?
It was very nice, very wonderful, except I made one fatal mistake that would have been my biggest DFS win ever. That
I
cost me.
heard about this.
So basically, what happened was after the first game, I had a lineup with only Mooney in it, and because Komet had put up like 14 fantasy points at tight end, and Hawkinson was right about the same, I had Dawson Knox, and I saved the lineup. The lineup I left it in another tournament. The problem is that other tournament it got me $1,000 for finishing out of 800,000 people instead of winning the tournament by actually a few points. And so I was pretty pissed at myself because I wasn't even going to change or anything. I just went a little too chalky. I was like, well, if I have a lineup this is doing better than all my other lineups, I'm going to switch over to Waller and Zeke. And it was Pollard and Jacobs, and then Waller, Zeke, and then I played Tony Jones instead. Basically, was the over Knox and those guys. And it just was like I just really am mad that I tinkered with it because I think that you're supposed to tinker. I really think there's a strength in doing that if you really do that on Thanksgiving days. But I was like about to leave the house. We were about to go to my family's, and I was just like, okay, my best chance. I want to give myself my best chance. And so I changed it, and it's really, really disappointing, man. But trying to just brush it off. Had the right ideas and talked about it even on our show about what I wanted to do with the games, and did most of it, and actually had a profitable day. But just would have been really, really nice to hit that really big one. And especially we keep talking about how it was my time of the year. And I keep winning a little bit and having some shots, but I haven't had a shot that good in a while. Anyway.
Yeah. It's so funny. So my day started and ended similarly. So my day started with like everybody's with the DeAndre Swift injury, right? Yep. And so it became Twitter just basically became a haven for people posting oh my God, what if Swift hadn't gotten hurt lineups, right? And they started right from the beginning. And I actually I played Jimmy Graham in the showdown in the 222. And
as you always do.
That was like in first with Swift. And he couldn't obviously hold on, but even with Swift, it held on for like seventh or something like that.
Oh my God.
In the 222, yeah. So that was good. And then at the end of the day, I ended up winning the FanDuel showdown, chopping it with 700,000 people for $280 or something like that. So,
oh my God, really?
Yeah. So the bookends of the showdown masked probably a terrible main slate. But the real big news was that we had two entries in the big Circa Survivor Pool entry. One of them we had Dallas, which lost, but we were kind of rooting against ourselves because it turns out that Dallas is about 70% owned. And we ended up with a nice low-owned Buffalo that was finally a little bit of stress-free survivor. You know what I mean? Like Buffalo was winning by 100 within like 5 seconds, and it was never in doubt, right? And so that big pool from starting at 6,000 is now down to 40 people. That's 40. Mm-hmm. With 6 million in the pot. So we got a sweat.
That's incredible.
So we have got ourselves a sweat.
That's awesome, man. That's great
stuff. We've been documenting it all in the Survivor Pool videos we've been doing and stuff like that. And hopefully you guys are doing well as far as that goes. I'm in one other big pool that's doing pretty well. We're down to the final 100 in that. I'm in another kind of smaller pool with 21 people, but it's gonna be fun. And obviously it gets hard, but let's see what happens.
Yep. Yeah. No, man, that's awesome. That's really exciting. I did get they're asking a question real quick about the lineup. I did posted it in our Discord. It was Josh Allen, Jacobs, Pollard, Gallup, Wilson, Mooney, Knox, Diggs, and the Bills defense. Nothing too crazy.
It was no DeAndre Swift is what it was.
It was my only I played 333s, and DeAndre Swift was in my other two. So I wanted to give myself my best chance, and I thought the upside. Yeah. And sure enough, that would have taken it down. So a little disappointing. But you know what? Hey, maybe you win the Survivor thing. That's really exciting.
Yes, that would definitely be. That would be good. That would go right past the 6 figures into the 7 figures. How fun would that be?
Jeez, that would be awesome.
But it's not going to actually do because it's probably going to end up chopping with like 15, 20 people. But you know what? That's fine by me.
Hey, a lot of time left here, man.
I don't know. It's already 40. I mean, anything's possible. So we'll see.
Yep. So what do you think I mean, this slate tonight is, I'd say, interesting to say the least, but I'm just playing one big lineup on either side. I've got a lot of birthday stuff going on. So
When's your birthday? 29th, right?
the 29th, but it's an easy day. So we're celebrating Sunday too, because some other friends are coming from LA, but
Okay.
doing a family dinner thing tonight. We had a lunch thing earlier, and then we're going a little cocktail hour with some of our friends who are in a different quarantine level because they have some non-vaccinated kids, obviously, because they're too young. So we have a big family, so trying to keep things as coordinated as we could. So sort of just spreading out and jumping and doing a bunch of different stuff. But I'm playing two big lineups, and I have some pretty strong takes actually. Again, I think that you play these slate sheets, and we talk about this every time. There is a huge value to obviously waiting as long as you can to make a commitment to anything. What is tripping me out a little bit is I think that the play that I might end up going with tonight may end up being Marvin Bagley, like in the later game. I think he's actually going to be popular on FanDuel, but I don't think anyone is going to play him on DraftKings. I think the minutes are going to trend in the right direction. They have no reason not to. They need to play with size. If we have, in fact, we have no Rashawn Holmes, which looks to be the case, right? Or we're hard to know for sure. You have Alex.
No Harrison Barnes.
And is that actually so? Bagley is. I mean, you know what? Take back that he's not going to be owned anymore. I didn't have the Harrison Barnes. I still have that as questionable. For some reason, that note didn't come through on my phone yet. But I think we want to get some access to that game, and you can make a run back with three really guys who have ceilings. But the problem is they're all playing tonight supposedly. I think LeBron and Westbrook are both very much in play on FanDuel. Excuse me. On DraftKings, it's a little harder to get to them. And then we also have another guy we could do in case we do hear some funny business. And I could go over the list of how well Damian Lillard's played and put up ceiling games consistently in Golden State specifically. He's from Oakland. I know it's a little different. They moved the stadium and all that, but he takes the Steph thing personally, and he always sort of tends to go nuts. So I think Lillard will have some ownership on FanDuel at 8,800, but I think he will be completely unowned on DraftKings at 9,800. And I like those guys in the late games. So I think you do want to try and get some late game exposure. But at the same time, you have this awesome Minnesota-Charlotte situation. Even though I like the under in this game. Minnesota's actually played better defense than they get credit for. But if you get Noah Kogi, and even if he does play, I mean, Beasley's obviously a guy who's going to get a bunch of minutes. I really like Cat. I think he's going to be owned on both sites, but I like him a lot. And then you can run it back with LaMelo, the red hot Terry Rozier, and Hayward. I think Bridges is my favorite run back on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, I think it's really hard not to argue for LaMelo there. And then you get the Memphis game in the middle, which is the game I want to target. So that's sort of the general way I'm approaching the slate. How about you?
Okay, so one guy I'd like to throw into the mix, somebody that might be back in our lives in that late game, is Alex Len at a stone 3K.
I played him like a full 20% the other night because I had enough late guys to get him in, and he didn't go crazy. I mean, he only played whatever minutes because they took him off the court, but he can put up fantasy points. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting. So especially without both those guys, I do think Bagley is the one though that I'm going to side with. But I agree with you about the Len thing too.
So to me, the best play. I mean, the guy I'm gonna be playing going back to Davion Mitchell in that game. Sacramento, but I'm kind of so I'm going to reiterate what I said. I have a couple of very strong takes as well today. First of all, I'm going to reiterate what I said. If I did like a very quick, like 15, 20-minute summary of the slate, and I went through game by game, and I got really into this Charlotte Minnesota game, and what I was going to do is I was gonna. Well, normally I'm with you. You know, just wait. I just maybe just I'm frustrated because I just really don't feel like waiting anymore. Right. I just was gonna just say, I'm just gonna throw down a number in this game, and you guys can all just try to figure it out later and just try to catch me. And I think that's what I might end up doing anyway. All those Minnesota guys, starting with Beasley, Cat on freaking FanDuel is basic. You know what? If it weren't for some of these freaking prices on FanDuel at these centers, like Valanciunas is literally 2,000 less on FanDuel, right, than on DraftKings. And then you have that, even Vooch. I mean, like, and Cat at what, under 9K, I think, over there. But in any case, I'm gonna probably just do that. I'm gonna play a bunch of these Minnesotas, play Charlotte, just throw it out there. But I am gonna be weaving in those Sacramento guys that you mentioned. I'm also going to be weaving in those Orlando guys who remained good plays.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm avoiding I'm avoiding a lot of games. And the other thing that I'm doing, I'm just not interested in this freaking Jokic Q tag anymore. I'm just Xing him out, and that's just going to be the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, if he plays, wonderful. Let him play with a freaking broken wrist. Let him come and beat me. And if he doesn't play, you know what? Then he just doesn't play, and everybody will scramble and get it wrong anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to deal with it. So I'm just completely and I'll just give you full transparency. When I run my projections and then I run my optimals or whatever, he's in like 95% of my optimals. I just don't care. I'm just Xing him out, and that's just the way it's gonna be with this dude. Let him get on the court one day, and then I'll play him again. But but until that time, he doesn't get in my lineups.
Yeah, and it's not like we don't have other guys to choose from, right? Like, there's a million other choices. On a smaller slate, I would say maybe tough to avoid. It's a good situation for him. I expect him to have a good game. He actually might be one of the preferred spend-ups. But even if he plays, there is some risk about that risk about the wrist and how he might be somewhat limited. Anyway, so I'm with you. I like what you're saying.
And then the cool thing is that when I do X him out, I get all those dudes that we talked about. I get the Miles Bridges who I want to play. You just get the John Morant who I want to play. You get who else? I mean, all these, the Rozier, like you mentioned. I mean, just all those mid-range 7,500 guys that I always like. You get to play them all, and you don't have to play, too much crap, because that's good, because there's not that much crap available anyway. And that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put my lineups in. It'll be 6:55. I'm gonna go to dinner and just enjoy.
Sounds good to me. It makes sense. I'm really. I really think this is another slate. If I had a different kind of more time today and stuff, there's just a lot of different routes to go. Okay. I'm very interested in the potential Vooch minutes here and how many he's going to play. Because I actually think, you got Vooch going back to Orlando, not to mention that they have real trouble like guarding anybody.
Yeah, no kidding.
7,600. But I could make just as good an argument basically for Capella as I could for Vooch.
Right. All these centers. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, there's just so many. And then how are Trae Young and John Morant not an enticing little duo to play together? There's a lot to look for here tonight, and I think that there's a lot of ways to get exposure to all these guys, to a good portion of these guys. I'm just only playing a couple lineups, so I'll tell you guys what I'm doing in mine, and you guys feel free to drop in questions what you think. X Factor's asking about how you feel about Giannis tonight.
Too much. No thanks.
Yeah, I think on FanDuel it's completely reasonable. I actually think on DraftKings it's reasonable too. I'm just going different with my builds personally, but I'd rather play these other guys. And how legitimate is the Trae Young game time decision, do you think? He's probable, but do we think he's really hobbled up? Because I really like that Trae Young, but I sort of want to play LaMelo too. It's kind of a tricky. Right. All these great plays right in that same range. So I'm just I'm struggling a little bit with that one myself.
You play any of this Naz Reid?
No.
No, right? Yeah, you don't need to do that.
I'm not finding it.
Yeah, okay. I'm just checking.
Yeah. By the way, I think this is a big boost up for Halliburton too, with the Barnes news, and Hield obviously. Sure. I really want pieces of that game. I really like that whole situation there. So I'm going to be all over that game. But I feel so sick not playing LaMelo currently in my FanDuel big lineup, because I want to do the Trae Young thing, and it is just that price gets me to a little bit of a different tier where I don't quite want to be. But I may change my mind and just play Ja with him, even though I lose a little bit of the correlation with the Trae going against Ja situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna swap I had a couple of lineups with Naz Reid. I'm gonna convert that to Alex Len and be happy about it.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I would rather do that anyway.
Yeah.
Let's see. Guys, pop in any questions you can. I know this time of year we're probably not going to have as many people dialed in. I still think we're going to hear about news that's going to affect things. But boy, that's really hard to avoid that Sacramento situation. And then if because of it, it's sort of forcing me into wanting to do the run back thing. And I don't know. To me, actually, LeBron at one point in the game the other night, when the game was tied in the fourth quarter, LeBron was minus 19 and Westbrook was plus 19. LeBron, I mean, he played great in overtime and everything, but playing great is hitting like 30-footers left and right. It still feels like a good matchup for him. And one thing about the Lakers is they were hungry in that game. That was the hardest I've seen them play all season long on both ends of the ball. That's probably not an encouraging sign. But without Anthony Davis, they certainly seemed hungrier. And tonight, obviously, we get Davis back in our lives. But I still think LeBron makes some sense as a run back. But maybe I'm reaching on it. Maybe I don't need to do that on FanDuel at 9,900. I think it's much more reasonable. On DraftKings, it's basically impossible for me to get to him.
You know what I've got to remember to play? I mean, not now. Did you know who's on? I mean, next time a bunch of guys are out, did you know that Taurean Prince was on Minnesota?
Yeah.
He doesn't play much, but
if Okogie's out.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, I think there's other value that I would side with, but I guess because it's an early game, sort of going with your strategy, that's why you're probably coming across some of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But it's hard not to love Ja tonight, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I really like Ja, but maybe Ja versus Lillard. I think I give Lillard maybe the slight edge, and I actually think Ball's probably a better play than Ja, just like on his face. But I think Ja goes after them in this matchup. The only thing that worries me is, again, a good elite rim protection with Capella there does make him, maybe a little bit worse of a play than he ordinarily would be. So take that for what it's worth.
I like Brandon Clark.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where do you stand with Wendell Carter in the Orlando situations?
Yeah, I think they're all good.
Yeah. I Terrence Ross playing again should knock like a little bit of usage out from some of these guys, but it's not going to matter all that much to Carter. It's really just a matter of can they stay in the game, which if they do, Wendell Carter is a very strong play.
Hey, I'm trying to find some salary here, and I'm looking at some guys. You've played this guy like a little bit more than I have. What do you think of Karis LeVert, maybe?
It's a good question. I didn't find myself with much of him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it's probably a little bit of a reach. They really are limiting his minutes coming back from the awful injury. And it's just we haven't seen the production there in a while. So I don't know. I think on a site like this, you want to avoid it and keep playing Brogdon and Sabonis instead.
Yeah. What do you get? Can you get Rozier at shooting guard or no? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
So if I put Brogdon over there, then yeah, and then at shooting guard, I could play. Is there a 6,700? You don't like Schroeder? Oh, you could play Giddey again.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing.
What do you like more? I mean, he's 500 more. You think Giddey's worth 500 more than Rozier?
I think he's probably the. Rozier can put up like 10 fantasy points in the game. It's hard for me to see Giddey doing the same thing.
Right. Okay.
But he's also got a ceiling, but so does Giddey. It's a tough one.
Okay. So it looks as though, just to go through my exposures then, like on DraftKings, first thing, one thing I'm doing, I don't know why I always get to do this, but my highest owned player is Cat at like 75%, but I don't have him in my big lineup. And I just do that sometimes.
Yeah, no, I like that. I actually totally second that strategy.
My second highest owned player is John Morant. I like 65% of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like a bunch of a guy who it just seems like you don't want to play him as chalk, but with Barnes out, I'm having a difficult time not playing like a whole bunch of Buddy Hield.
Yeah, I love Buddy Hield today.
Yeah.
And again, I'll give an extra boost that this is a good matchup for Buddy Hield. Like the Dayton Lakers have been a good matchup for everyone. The Lakers are bizarre. You can't win a close game unless it's in overtime, and they win all the overtime games. They've won 4 overtime games this year, and they lose every other game close. Like it's really weird. let's see. There's some news coming in. Kogi is playing, so that's a little bit of a knockdown to some of the Minnesota Beasley stuff. I still like Beasley, for what it's worth, but a little bit of a bump down.
What other guys? I have like 40% Miles Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I usually have the other Bridges. Now I got your Bridges. And I got all the other Charlottes. I got the Oubre, everyone from that game. I got the Oubre, the Edwards.
Melton is now probable, by the way, which is a tiny bit of a knockdown to my Ja love. But still like Ja.
Oh, I haven't played this guy in a long time. I'm getting 10% of Otto Porter Jr.
I get it. I just think that you're going to have better values, probably.
Yeah.
I looked at that earlier. I do like Otto Porter Jr., though. I think he's actually done a really good job for them. But it's like, is it going to be him? Is it Juan Toscano Anderson? It's just hard to figure out a little bit with that team.
Yeah.
And it seems to go a little bit basically how they play, but they're always around the same minute, thing. And you're just betting on them being productive in limited minutes, most likely.
Let me tell you where my exposures are on FanDuel. I'll tell the crew here. Yeah, this is I'm pretty weighted here. So I got 95% of Wendell Carter Jr. on FanDuel. That's a lot.
Yep.
And I have 91.3% of Mr. Murray State Morant.
Yep.
And then the next bunch are Brogdon, Bagley, Cat. Ooh, I got 60% of a guy I don't play all that often. 60% of Keldon Johnson.
I like Keldon Johnson tonight. I also like Total, by the way, you didn't mention, but I just think he's a good player.
Yeah, I have like kind of with the field of him. I have like 15% of him, I think.
Yeah. Where do you stand with maybe taking a shot with Gordon Hayward tonight?
It's funny because like I said, I want to play that game, and yet I always wonder, worry about Charlotte being too balanced, and I just ended up getting more towards Bridges and Rozier, and even some Oubre than Hayward. But I can't argue against him.
Oubre got red hot, which limited Hayward's minutes last time. So I'm dealing with like a struggle between a Hayward versus Middleton price range on FanDuel.
I don't even know Middleton played anymore.
Yeah, and he's just been pretty pedestrian, but they played Detroit, so the minutes were limited, and they beat Orlando by a million, so he only played 20 minutes, and they beat Orlando by before that, so he only played 30 minutes. If he plays 34 or 35 minutes in a competitive game environment, I really like Middleton. So I actually kind of think he's the way I should go. Certainly use him as a placeholder for the time being in this lineup, because it does go away a little bit from my stack, but at the same time, if you play LaMelo, he's a one-man stack himself. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I'm not too worried about it, but it is a little bit, I don't know. And I think I'm going to have to take LeBron out of one of my big lineups. I really like the idea of it. I think I really thought the intensity was there for the team and everything. And I honestly have never seen LeBron drive to the basket so many times and miss, hitting the other side of the backboard on layup attempts. It was bizarre.
That's weird.
This monster game and everybody sees the highlights, but I watched all the minutes of that game and it was not pretty from LeBron.
1 second.
All right. See, Beasley's not starting. I actually like him better not starting, but I think there's variance to his game. I don't think you have to play Beasley. I'm probably going to do it, but I don't think you have to do it.
Okay.
Just for what it's worth. And actually,
are you and Rody going to do anything football before Sunday or no?
He couldn't today when we were trying to record. I'm going to do it tomorrow.
You are, okay.
And if he can do it, great. But I don't know if he's going to be able to.
I did, I thought I did a good job today. But I would prefer for the viewers if they got a chance to hear you and Rody sometime before Sunday if you could do it.
Yeah. I was sorry. I mean, these weeks are a little bit weird always, and it's also strange for me because you mix in the whole birthday part of it, which just makes things a little complicated. But yeah, right. we should do something.
Dude, and let us not forget. When's your birthday?
My birthday is Monday.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Why? What was the shoot?
It was Sunday. You could win the Millie on your birthday.
Oh yeah, I know. I'll take it.
I would go with the birthday narrative.
I will be doing a pub crawl with my friends that's been put together that guy by Kenny, but a bunch of people coming up from LA and stuff. So
That's nice.
hopefully watching myself win $1 million would be the pretty cool birthday thing, and I wouldn't really need anything else from anybody. So
No, I don't think so. Yeah, you return all your presents. That's right.
Yeah. Mason Plumlee just got ruled out.
For who?
For Charlotte.
I don't know what team he's on.
What the hell are they gonna do? Let me see something real quick.
They're gonna get, dude. It's gonna be more rebounds for Bridges, I guess.
I mean, if we thought PJ Washington could play minutes, I don't think he can, and I don't think he's going to.
No, that's the thing. I don't think.
No, I'm just thinking about it. Like, what are they going? And then is it going to be Jalen McDaniels for 30+ minutes? Boy, can they play Bridges at the 5 and get away with that against Cat? Probably not.
LFG, let's try it.
I don't know, man. That threw a little wrench into.
Yeah, a little monkey in the wrench there.
Yeah, it's a little confusing to do it. I gotta have to revisit that one and see who they have starting. I'll take a look at what some of these guys say. How would I rank my plays on Sacramento on DK? I'll run through the sheets and then maybe you can say what you like.
Yeah.
As of right now, I would say depends on how much you feel good about the Alex Len. Now, Alex Len is projected to play like 20 minutes ish. That's not a hard thing. The Lakers play big. Even if Davis is out there, they still play pretty big. They can get away with Bagley at the 5 some. You will see some Damian Jones minutes. I think that, I don't know. Let's see. I guess I would go Hield on FanDuel. On DraftKings, though, I think I would probably say it's probably Mitchell. Probably Mitchell, Fox, Halliburton. Mitchell, Fox, Hield, Halliburton. That's probably the way I would rank them. And then I think you're looking at Bagley, but you don't know that Bagley's going to start, by the way, guys. Remember, this guy hasn't played 20 minutes in a game this year, so don't be too locked in. It's much more comfortable to do on FanDuel at 3,600 the minimum, basically, versus 42 on DraftKings. So just keep that stuff.
For me, it's Mitchell number 1, Len number 2, Hield number 3, Bagley number 4.
Yeah, and we just got news that Shea is going to play tonight. Shea Gilgeous, so that means I wouldn't probably mess around with the Giddey play as much. He's still fine. It's just it definitely loses his real massive upside.
I'm going to replace him back with Rozier again then.
Yeah.
That frees up a few dollars.
Let's see. The other one, we said the Beasley one. AD good versus. I don't like AD as a play. It's you're just betting on that's a really tough situation. If I was going to bet on any of them, it's a great matchup. Don't get me wrong, but I just am not finding myself getting to him. I just went through all the plays on Sacramento, so that's the answer to the Barnes question you guys asked just now. Beasley or Mitchell for better value. I think Mitchell is probably, I don't want to use the word safe, but I don't know actually how I feel about that one. Jaden McDaniels is starting today. We sort of knew that was coming. We'll see if Jalen McDaniels starts too, and you could double McDaniels it if you wanted to. I wouldn't be shocked to see that. I'm kind of curious how these projections update. I don't need to run for anything, so I'm just kind of curious to see how these projections are going to update for the Charlotte situation. Because to get an extra cheap piece in that game could make it. You could really argue for the nice big stack there. Let's see what I've got here.
Well, I can get it to Beasley now over there. That's what I can do. Okay. Well, let me just say something.
Beasley.
Hassan Whiteside. Is this the day?
It's hard to click that. I mean, that's one of those things. It's always a good play, but I don't know if today is. I don't know if I'd be messing with it today personally.
Is it a day for me too? Is it pivot off of Bagley?
Maybe. I don't think anybody's playing Bagley on DraftKings. I really still don't think they're going to end up getting to him. I really don't. There's just too much other value, and it's so speculative. But it's fine to speculate on FanDuel, but it's very different trying to make the same speculation on DraftKings for me. Giannis is now a better play than he was before, by the way. Just because he has the raw points now. Like, I mean, there's just enough value out there to do it if you want to do it. Beasley, Bagley, Carter, Keldon Johnson, Buddy Hield, Brogdon. Okay, I like all those guys. And boy, pretty chalky lineup for me in my 7-7-7. But yeah, that's okay. I mean, there's plenty of, I did mention some other pivots, but I really like, I guess Lillard is not going to be that chalky, and he's my big, I really like Lillard. So I actually have playing Lillard and Ball in the backcourt, and then Towns as my center. And I already mentioned I'm playing Bagley, so you guys can kind of guess what I'm doing with the rest.
Yeah.
Feels wrong to play Mitchell and Fox together, even though it shouldn't feel wrong. I think it's Halliburton and Fox in general you usually want to stay away from. And Fox it's just been frustrating. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he just never gets there, like, ever. But it is a dream matchup here. So PJ Washington is starting, by the way.
Ooh.
I don't know if I can do it, but
I think you could do that. No.
He's coming back from an injury. He played 6 minutes in his first game back. It's hard to know.
He's starting. He's playing at least 6 minutes today.
He gets his first rotation. That's all you get from him, basically.
I don't mind that. What's his price?
$4,900.
Ooh.
I mean, it's really cheap for him, but
not if he's going to get 6 minutes.
Yeah, not at 6 minutes, no. Yeah, trying to rank
this could be the idea, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, by the way, if Jokic does play, you could play Giannis and Jokic really easily together. Crazy as that sounds, but you really could.
PJ Washington. If I did that, now I'd have to play. Oh, I gotta save 200 somewhere. I got Edwards. I got Russell. I don't want to. Who did you not want to play Mitchell? Davion Mitchell with Fox, right?
No, but I actually think it's okay though. Like, but I don't know if I need to play Fox anymore. Like,
no, I mean,
there's just so many other guys to get there, and Mitchell has a bust path in his range here. Like, we've seen it from him plenty of times.
Yeah,
the offense isn't really there for him, but the defense is definitely there.
Doesn't matter. So I got. Okay, I can't quite get to Jaden McDaniels. I gotta save 200 if I play PJ Washington, which I really want to do.
I want to see what the projections say about him. I really think. I wonder how many minutes he can even play.
I don't want to give up more. What does it say? What does it see here? He's available. He's been sidelined for 10 games. This is retake the court Wednesday. That was the other day. Played 6 minutes. Yeah, maybe I'm in no big rush to play PJ Washington.
I'm curious to see whether we think he can play 28 minutes or not.
It's going to be total speculation.
But if he's starting, you could probably speculate that 20 is safe. I don't know how much further he can go.
So, like, for me, so here's, like, right now in that spot, I mean, I have Jared Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah.
And if I try to take PJ Washington in for Vanderbilt, I'm gonna have to rebuild elsewhere. It's not like PJ Washington is like that much better play than Vanderbilt, right?
Well, if he's back to having his old role on the team, I think he is.
Well, sure, yeah, well,
but it's funny. I didn't come across Vanderbilt much in my builds, but maybe that's a mistake on my part.
He's starting in a game that's that you want to play. I mean,
yeah, no, it's fair enough.
Plays 25 minutes, whatever. Hey, his last 2 games smash, right?
Yep. Sure did.
15 rebounds, 11 rebounds. I mean,
Yeah, what can I do want to revisit. I will say that I don't think Anthony Davis is as bad of a play as anymore. There's just enough value out there that's easy enough to do it, and it correlates with the game. I just personally think I would rather play at least LeBron on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I think I would probably pick Davis over Westbrook and LeBron. But
Matt, how's the parlay? We live?
What's the parlay?
We live? No? We're live still? 3 for 3? How many we got left? 8? What do we got left? 8?
That's it.
All right, just 8 games left. All right, we're in.
That's it.
Bobby, any
Yeah.
any against the spread opinions tonight?
Yeah. I had some earlier that I wrote down, but I don't know where I put that note. I like Milwaukee to win that game in Denver to cover by more than 3.5.
Okay.
I like Charlotte over Minnesota, and I like the under in that game.
Okay.
I think the Bulls are. I mean, anytime Orlando plays, they could lose by 50. So the Bulls at -9.5 only, even though.
Well, dude, why don't you do that thing like your buddy did, where you play him like -31 or something like that?
Yeah, there you go. It's just that crazy, weirdest bet I've ever seen. I felt like he got robbed. I felt like he actually got paid a lot more than he got paid for.
Dude, did you see what Cal Spears did?
No, oh my God, man, crazy! I saw it from another guy who's a friend of mine. He sent it to me from the BR betting site. They follow all the parlay stuff and everything. But he sent it to me, and that was before I realized it was Cal. So congrats to Cal, man. That's crazy. That guy wins some.
What was it, like a 9-way same game parlay or something?
Yeah.
Like he bet like 1,000 on it.
It was a 6. I think it was a 6-way parlay, but it was like a lot. It was a lot to get there, and he made 226,000.
But with the sickest, he bet like a full 1,000 on it. You know, like
right. I'm still really considering this John Moran.
Just like 4 weeks after his better collective deal closes. Guy
Right.
runs pure.
Yep. All right, Ja. Yeah, I like this Ja versus Trey. I think I'm going to do that on DraftKings because it's going to be lower owned over there. And I don't like the pivots quite as much.
Speaking of which, Bobby, guess where we're going tonight?
What's that? Oh, you're going back to the restaurant?
Yes, we are.
Awesome, man. That place is great.
Go to Blackstone?
Didn't he go to Rare?
No, he went to Blackstone, I thought. Didn't he?
Rare.
He went to Rare? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Same thing.
owned by the same people. Same people.
Oh, gotcha. That place was great.
Still digesting it.
Trey Young.
And I'm finally healthy for the first time in 2 weeks today. Thank God.
You haven't coughed?
No.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. That UVA plague is like a rough one.
Yeah, seriously. God, there's a lot of play, man. There's a lot of guys who feel underpriced. Yet all the scores this year are always basically like lower than I've ever seen them. Since I started playing it.
Oh, Matt's got a lock. What's a lock? What do we got?
Under.
In what?
UVA Lehigh.
Under? Is that tonight?
7.
UVA Lehigh. Dude, that's like the Civil War game.
It's a textbook under.
Oh, go for it. I like it.
That's the Civil War. My son went to UVA. My son goes to UVA. My daughter went to Lehigh.
That's right. Right.
Civil War.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Guaranteed the under.
Yeah,
We
all,
can't score.
We're
They
all
probably
betting the
can't
under.
score.
Virginia defends. They can't score. Lehigh can't
I'd
score.
actually make a custom under of 100.
Custom under of 100. Okay.
That'd be good.
That seems like a good bet anyway. For all Virginia games, basically.
No
Yeah,
score.
pretty much.
What are your thoughts on Brandon Clark?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because especially if you get Melton back, it just mucks things up a little bit. And you're playing a guy who is really a good point per minute, but he doesn't need to play 24, 25, 26 minutes like he's been playing. He might play 16, 18.
I mean, I got 15%.
I'm trying to decide if I want him in my big buy-in. I don't think I do.
I got him in one of my bigger ones, like the 88. I consider like a bigger one. So in the box out, I got 3 in the box out, and he's in one of them.
God, it seems like guards are so loaded here tonight. It's crazy. Terrence Ross is a great tournament play, by the way, guys, in case anybody hasn't thought of that one.
Yeah, he's another one that could be good for 6 fantasy points. But he can get 50.
Yeah, he can literally scored 50 real life points before, so
yeah,
he can certainly get it. I'm telling you, this Dame and Steph together is feeling kind of tempting to me, but I don't think I'm going to go there. I'm going to do the Ja and Trey Young instead.
Wait, so you're going to the game tomorrow, Matt?
Yeah.
So Matt's going to the UVA Virginia Tech game tomorrow. Back in Virginia.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I promise you with the one thing that UVA ain't stopping anybody. That's not going to be an under.
Yeah.
Good win.
What's the spread in that game, Matt?
I think I was by 7.
Your favorite over somebody?
Our quarterback's amazing.
Have you ever won a game since the Eisenhower administration?
That's not. We've lost 3 in a row,
Oh.
and one of them was because we didn't have him.
Okay.
The other one was against the 18 seed.
Okay.
The other one was
Brady Check's no good this year?
fine.
That guy is really good, by the way. I support everything Matt's saying. I've only heard like the most incredible things about him.
He's really
Yeah,
good.
he is good.
Yeah.
And they got that one receiver who's awesome. Jemiah Wicks. Is that what's his first name, Matt? Wicks. Hicks. Wicks or Hicks? Wicks, I
I
think.
forgot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to throw Daniel.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He looks so bad though. Like when I watch him,
Yeah.
but he's just always like just has high stats. He doesn't look good on the field.
He runs too.
And he doesn't. If you see him in person, he doesn't look like a guy that would run.
Really?
No.
All right, let's see what we got here. Anything else? Beasley's not starting. I said I like Beasley. Benefit we into the Barnes. Do I like Jackson? Which Jackson, guys? Jokic for all the money. Jokic is the most popular play of any stand-ups as of right now. So if you get him, you better get different somewhere else. Is all I would say.
Yeah, go play Jokic. You know what? One of us is going to win if somebody plays Jokic.
Can someone double check that Wiggins inactive? I didn't get. Oh, it's Aaron Wiggins. Yeah. Sorry. I was like, yeah, I didn't get that one. The DKGBP Rozier, Curry, or D. Russ and Tatum. I don't necessarily love Tatum tonight, but I would go with that route. I think I would try to build differently if it was me. But I mean, they're all fine. There's a lot of good plays, but I just don't think that I'm ending up in those spots too often. I do like Rozier, and I think Curry's always got a great ceiling. But once I'm paying 11-4 for Curry on a big slate, it feels like let's just take the sure money from Giannis. You know what I mean?
So all right. So wait. So just so you know, the by the time I would update, it would be too late anyway. I'll just, for those of you that care, there's nobody that's particularly like a lock due to the Charlotte news. I'm looking at it now a little bit, and yeah, PJ Washington's getting a bump because he's starting, but it's not like I'm telling you. Like I would tell you if there's like somebody like really popping, but not really.
Not really happening.
They're giving Nick Richards like 15 minutes now. Like.
Can I interest you in Lou Dort tonight?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I mean, that guy just feels like every few games he puts up like 55 fantasy points.
It's a little worse. What's his name back though? But yeah,
it's a little worse, sure. But like, no one's going to play him because of it too.
Yeah. And
I literally need 5,500 for a forward spot, and he's the guy I keep coming across that I kind of like.
Yeah. Derek White, you have any of him?
I wish Marcus Smart had his. I'm fine with White, but again, not my favorite type of upside play on this slate.
Oh, you know what we haven't talked about? Okay, so maybe it's not that big of a deal, but with what's his name out again, Derrick Rose, you like any of this Knicks stuff or no?
I probably should have more interest as the answer.
Right?
Than I do, but I don't.
Go back to Fournier at 4,700?
Yeah, I think it's totally fine. I mean, one thing that people got to remember, Fournier shot the freaking lights out that night, and it was against the Lakers. Yeah. But sure, I mean, it's whichever one of these guys gets hot. I think I would side with Alec Burks ahead of the other ones.
Kemba at 5K or
Kemba and Burks would probably be my favorite too.
Quigley again. I mean,
they're all fine. I just think there's enough other things on the slate where I'm just not needing it.
Yeah. I'm just kind of scrolling like team by team here to see who's like popping that I didn't see before. Any Washington guys? No, not really. OKC guys, Giddy's fine, but no big deal. Atlanta.
I like Dort.
What?
I like Dort.
Ooh, look at who's showing up here a little bit more than he was earlier. Is Jaren Jackson? I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I like Jaren Jackson always in the tournament play because no one ever owns him. Yeah. Whenever he's popular, you can just go the other way because he's going to foul out half the time in like 25 minutes.
Nothing from Boston for me.
I like Marcus Smart.
Okay. Utah, I think Mitchell and Gobert remain fine plays.
Yeah. Boy, Kelly Oubre, that's tempting, huh?
Yeah, I got some of him. Milwaukee, Denver. Yeah, he's not playing. I don't want to hear it. Let me prove he's playing first, and we'll talk about Golden State, sure. Curry. I mean, Portland doesn't play defense, so it's obviously a good play. Mitchell Heald, Fox Halburn. We talked about that. Len, Bagley. Can't quite do Harkless, I don't think.
Beware that there's a chance that Len doesn't start this game, and if he doesn't start, you're talking about a very wild card play.
You're talking about a 0, probably.
Well, no, he'll get some minutes, but
Okay.
they could start Damian Jones. They lost the game that he started the other night, a game they really probably should have won against that Sixers team that was depleted. And
Yeah.
that's really in my head. Like the coach, I'm so ready for Alvin Gentry to do something. You know what I mean? Now he's got all these guys out, so he's got to do something different. And maybe Len sort of falls by the wayside. I am playing Len in my main lineup to be in full transparency on DraftKings, but I can always switch over to Jones if I need to.
Yeah.
I don't love that either, but hey, the risk I'm willing to take because I think there's a 35-40 upside for that guy against the Lakers.
All right, I'm gonna get rolling.
All right.
I'm going to dinner and everybody enjoy your weekend. As Bobby mentioned, Bobby and Rhodey might do something in the next day or two with respect to football, but at the very least, Sunday 11:30 will be on there. And no ancillary sports this weekend. Just some basketball, maybe. I'll put projections up if I have some plays tomorrow. I'll throw them up there. Otherwise, we'll see you Sunday.
Yeah, good luck, everybody. Enjoy your dinner sheets, and hopefully you guys. I'll be in Discord if you have any direct questions. Let me know. Roger or Brogdon? The answer is Brogdon, by the way, on that one for me. And
all right.
that'll